Now, if you want an SUV that's fast, gorgeous, and something the public will automatically hate you for, then you buy this, the BMW X5M Competition. And it's basically like the M5 that's just gone and injected himself with steroids. Same engine, same gearbox, just bigger. The question is though, does it make any sense? Well, let's find out. I'm Max Tavani, and welcome to Driven Plus. So firstly, before I understand this M version of the X5, what actually makes the standard X5 stand out? Well, it's BMW's answer to the Range Rover. It's luxurious, comfortable, and very practical as well. You can even spec the regular X5 with 7 seats. And then this M version basically comes along, slaps you in the face, says, hello, I'm not here to do any of that, I'm just here to cause havoc. And that's what this car is. It just causes chaos. It doesn't make any sense. But because it's so mad, it does make sense. And for anyone looking to buy an X5M, they don't care about it not being comfortable or good on fuel. They just want one because they can. Because on their way to work, and they come up to a set of lights and you've got a granny and a Nissan Micra there, they just want to beat that car because they want to show her who's boss. And that's what this car does. It shows people who the boss is. I do quite like these, I will admit. I do like an X5M. However though, if I was in the market for a fast BMW with a V8 engine and something practical, I think I'd end up just buying an M5. The only difference is the driving position, and I do quite like sitting high up on the road. It does give you a nice driving position, this car. But let's stop over somewhere and check out the engine. So under the bonnet of the X5M sits BMW's S63 TU engine. It's a 4.4 litre twin turbocharged V8, and it's the same engine found in the M5, M8 and the X6M Competition, and it produces 617 horsepower and 750 newton meters of torque. It's also mated to an 8-speed ZF torque converter gearbox. But look at this engine bay. It looks absolutely phenomenal because the owner of this car, JP, has put this carbon fibre engine bay cover along with carbon fibre e-venturi intakes, and it just looks amazing. And by the way, look how low down this engine is mounted into this car. That's definitely going to help driving dynamics. BMW also say the X5M does a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds, but we all know BMW love to lie, so let's find out. Okay, so it's time to launch the BMW X5M from 0 to 60. On your screen now are the stats and figures on this car, so pause your screen if you would like to look into them. Now, this car is standard. It hasn't been tuned. It's just got a mid-pipe and some e-venturi air intake, so that might increase the power slightly. Now, to put this car in launch control, traction control has to be fully off. The gearbox has to be in manual mode because it will change automatically. And, well, that's it. Let's see what we're going to get. Here we go. Oh, that's really good. Whoa, what have we got there? 3.37. Wow, that was so fun. It gripped so well. It didn't struggle for traction one bit. Gripped and go. Right, let's do one more run because that was really fun. I want to go again. Here we go, run number 2. Wow. Oh, that thing's so quick. 3.44 seconds. Well, that's super impressive. Well, that's what it stacks up against. And let's go back to the review. Now, let me tell you about this car's colour because it looks absolutely phenomenal. If I was to have an X5, I'd have one in this colour after seeing this today. And it's called Verdi Erms Pearl. And it just looks so good, especially in this car. I mean, normally big cars don't really suit kind of out there colours, but this certainly does. And the owner of this car, JP, has also put the yellow DRLs, which I actually think suits this car, especially the exterior colour as well. But this is the pre-facelift X5M, so it has a different front end as towards the facelift. I actually prefer the look of the pre-facelift, this one right here. And we've got a bit of carbon fibre going on, such as these carbon fibre kidney grills, which look amazing. And there's massive radiators behind them as well. But it just looks so aggressive. Right, moving on to the side profile of this car. And I like all the black accents going on. I like the black trims here and also the black roof railings as well. Now, wheels. On the rear, you get 22-inch alloy wheels. Remember that as we come to the front wheels. But as we're coming here, you get some more carbon fibre touches again. You get the M mirror caps. They look fantastic. And there's a bit of an M, don't know, side grille down here. It looks fake, but it's probably usable. But that's carbon fibre too. And on the front here, we come to a staggered wheel setup. So on the rear, as I just said, 22-inch wheels, but on the front you get 21-inch alloy wheels, because BMW say that aids the driving experience. And behind them sits 6 piston calipers. Now moving on to the back of this car, you get the quad tailpipes to really let people know that this car is really fast, because it is, and also this badge will remind you of that as well. You get a more aggressive diffuser, and looking into the boot, one thing I love about X5s is the fact that they have a split tailgate, and this also has 650 litres. It's absolutely massive. One thing about the X5M though, you do not get the third row seats as you do in a normal X5, well, which is an optional extra anyway. But to bring it down, you just press that button here. Now, driver, can we please start the car up? Listen to this. Well, that sounds so aggressive, so throaty. Okay, put it in sport mode and let's hear it. God, I can feel the car shaking. That sounds so good. So let me tell you about this car's XDrive system. It's called XDrive. So what that does, it's predominantly rear-wheel drive. But when the system detects slip, it can then send power to the front wheels as well. Now, you do have different driving modes to choose from as well. So if we go into setup, down here you have XDrive. So you've got four-wheel drive sport, and also two-wheel drive. Now, you don't normally get that on a standard X5M. This has been coded in so that you can, well, I suppose, do a burnout in this X5M. But that's the only difference between the M5 and the X5M. The normal X5M doesn't give you two-wheel drive mode, unless you code it in, of course. And this gearbox is so good. ZF8 torque converter, as we're just driving normally here. Super smooth changes, really good. But let's say we put the aggression up to number 3 and we put the car in manual mode and we play with it ourselves. Second gear here, nice pull. Let's see how fast the changes are. So responsive, really, really good. What are the downshifts as well? What about the handling? The noise this thing makes as well. Let's go down to third gear. Okay, give me second. There we go. By the way, this has got even Venturi intakes, and the induction noise is just absolutely mad. Listen. To be fair, the exhaust note is shadowed by the induction noise, so therefore the exhaust noise is a little bit muted because of the induction, but I like it. And the gear changes are super snappy. They make a nice bang when you go from gear to gear. Very responsive. It's a good gearbox, this. And the suspension on this car is good old springs and dampers. There's no air suspension or rear wheel steering on the X5M. If you want air suspension on an X5 with a V8, go and buy the X550i. But I wouldn't say the ride is harsh. I'd say it's a little firm for a luxury SUV, but it's an M model. What do you expect? But let's test the suspension out. Got a nice tight left here. Do you know what? The brakes are fantastic as well. I think, considering all the fast SUVs I've driven, the RS Q8 and the Range Rover Sport SV, this is by far the most playful. It's so capable and it feels planted. There really is a natural feeling from this car. It does fill you with confidence. It really, really does. And you can't really feel the weight. And this thing has a proper M rear differential as well, and you can feel that. It feels rear biased. Oh, it's like an M5 on steroids. It's so capable, and the grip levels, they're so insane. You put your foot down, boom, it does it. It's an exciting thing to drive. It puts a smile on your face, it really does. Nice tight bend here. Wow. This is another great one. Oh, it just pins in so nicely. It's so precise for a big SUV. Oh, I'm a huge fan of this car. But the thing is, whenever I review an M version, of an SUV. It's all well and good when I'm just driving like this, and it's fantastic, you know. It's just so addicting to put your foot down because the drive is so good. But if I was to live with one on a day-to-day basis, but I still wanted a V8 engine, I honestly think I'd go and buy the X550i, because that thing gives me air suspension. I just can't stop driving it because it's so good. But yeah, it's like the X3 as well. So I recently reviewed an X3M, and in that review I kind of just said it's great, but I'd still probably rather go and buy the X340i. And it's the same case with this as well. I'd probably go and buy the X550i because you're still getting the V8 engine. But I think I'd still end up with this. The fact that it's mad, and the fact that it's a proper M car as well. Yeah, I mean, if I was to daily one, I'd buy the X550i, but then if I was to drive one, if I've got something else for a daily and have this as a bit of a weekend toy to put the family in, 100% it'd be the X5M. And the fact that it makes that noise as well. I just love this engine. Oh, I miss it, because I had this engine. I had an F90 M5, same engine as this. It's just such a good engine. Makes a lovely noise as well. It pulls so strong. So when shopping for a fast luxury SUV, there are a load of options to choose from, and I'm just going to name some competitors which come into my head. GLE 63 AMG, good looking car, sound amazing as well, good engine in them too. You've got the Audi RS Q8, I've driven that one, that's got air suspension, which is one thing I like about that car. And you've also got another car which I've got a lot of experience with, the Range Rover Sport SV. And if I was to pick basically my dream super SUV, it'd be the engine from this, but yet the air suspension, or just any air suspension. And do you know what one car combines those two exact things? The Range Rover Sport SV. It's just a shame Range Rover didn't get that car quite right, because that car had its reliability issues, speaking from experience. However, I would pick this car because of its driving dynamics and the engine. I mean, it's just so good to drive, and the engine sounds awesome. But I think if I was to pick one car to daily get in every day, it would be the RS Q8. So it's a hard pick. It depends what you want. Do you want more comfort or more sportiness? And that's the question only you can answer. If I was to pick one, comfort really isn't my main priority, so I'd pick this. Moving on to the interior of the X5M, and I think BMW smashed the balance of luxury and sportiness, because all the finishes and the leather used are fantastic, but yet the dash is very driver focused. It's centered towards the driver, which I like a lot. Now let's start with these seats, and I get the illuminated X5M logo, which looks great, and these are massaged, cooled and heated as well. So when you go on long journeys, that's fantastic. Let's move on to the center console. Center console is also heated as well, and it opens like that in a split way, which is nice. It feels like you're in something very premium, which you are, of course. Moving on to the interior here, into the inside center console, you get more gloss carbon fiber. Wrapped around that is you get the gear stick and all your different M mode setup, exhaust, and also the toggle for your iDrive controller. Now let's go into M mode, and it should come up on the screen here. So if we press setup, there we go. You can change the setup of this car, so you can change the engine, the chassis, the steering, and also the brake as well. And this owner has also coded in two-wheel drive mode as well, which is hooligan mode for this car. Let's go on to the home screen as well. Now this is iDrive 7, which is very easy to use. You can use the iDrive controller down here, or it's also touchscreen. It's also got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. Now here's all your climate controls, so you can just turn that on by there you go, and it's dead easy to use. I really like this climate control system down here, and you've also got the touch sensitive buttons down here, which I like too. Now moving on to the cup holders here, they're also heated and cooled as well. So if you've got a drink of coffee, you can keep that warm, or if you've got a cold can of Coke, you can keep that cold as well. So I really like that as well. And when you bring this down, you've got X5M Competition there, which I think that's a very, very nice touch. Glove box, see the size of that? Yeah, it's a great size, and you expect to in an X5M, wouldn't you? Because everything is big. Now, one thing I particularly like in this car is the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. That looks premium, and it sounds amazing as well. But I like all the kind of the quilted leather touches in this car. It's on the door card, it's on the seats as well, and all the gloss carbon fibre. The interior colour of this car, ivory, definitely matches the exterior colour of this car. It's really, really nice, and it's probably what I'd spec an X5M if I was to be honest. Moving on to the steering wheel, it's very nice. I like the paddles, they're carbon fibre too, heated too, and behind that sits a digital driver's display which says X5M. It's full of technology, this car. I really like it. You've got this massive panoramic sunroof and this Alcantara headlining. I really like this car. But I'd like to say a massive thanks to JP for letting me get a review on this X5M today, and this car is actually going to be coming up for sale soon. So if you'd like to buy this particular car, then get in touch with us and we'll put you in touch with the owner. This is a great spec car. I could see myself having this car. If I had the money, I'd definitely buy this for my daily. Yes, I would daily this car because, you know, the exterior colour, the interior colour is just fantastic, and it's a BMW M car. That's what I like. Anyway, guys, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, and goodbye.